In this video, we'd like to share our IVF journey in Japan with you.
Daniel and I have been together for nearly 6 years, since 2017. We had a wonderful Shinto and a Western wedding in Tokyo, surrounded by family and friends. We were just a normal couple excited about our future together and having a family eventually. Daniel was 36 years old and I was 32 when we got married, but we were not in a rush to have kids at the time. We wanted to enjoy our time together and make sure we really want to have our own kids when it felt right.
September 2019, 2 years after our wedding. After dodging lots of questions from friends and family about, when are you going to start a family? Don't forget, the clock is ticking. We conceived a baby while living in Papua New Guinea. We were so happy about it and told our parents and friends. But sadly, we had a miscarriage after 8 weeks of pregnancy, which was heart-wrenching. This pregnancy ended before we even heard a heartbeat.
After the miscarriage experience, we were thinking to start a fertility treatment, then COVID hit the world and traveling became extremely challenging. Unfortunately, there were no fertility treatment facilities or IVF clinics in Papua New Guinea, so we began researching our option in Australia and New Zealand, but ultimately decided that treatment in Japan would be the best option for us because of easier access to my family living in Tokyo. Also, the Japanese government is encouraging families to have children in an attempt to solve the aging society problem. They began offering IVF grants for financial support. In April 2022, they finally started covering IVF under the National Japanese Health Insurance.
There was just one small problem. Japan was under strict quarantine lockdown, and we needed to wait for the world to go back to normal so we could fly back to Japan to start treatment.
Finally, in 2021 October, there was a window of time after the delayed Tokyo Olympics. We were able to book flight tickets and return to Japan even though it was still the height of the pandemic and there were strict quarantine measures in place. As soon as we had finished our 2 weeks of mandatory quarantine on arrival to Japan, we started to go to medical fertility clinic for basic checkup and try 3 attempts of IUI, which failed. So we decided to step up to IVF soon after. At the time, Daniel was 41, I was 37. I was already after 35 years old and knew it would be more difficult from now to conceive due to my age. First OPU, oocyte pickup. I could get 8 eggs in total and 5 of them become viable embryos. We are going to go to clinic to find out I'm pregnant or not.
Low expectations, so I'm not disappointed. I think it's probably safer. Because we've already had a lot of disappointments.
どうでしょうか。マイナスか。だね。
Estrogen levels are not high enough based on just taking the tablets.
After 3 failed attempts of IVF, we were diagnosed as Chakshofusem, disorder of implantation. Both Daniel and I were under the impression that fertility treatment would make it easier for us to have children, so we didn't know how to deal with the situation that even science could not help us to start a family.
Yuka has to go off the medication that she's been taking recently.
Yay! Finally!
And
I'm
then
so happy. How many times I was taking the medicine every day? Do
like
you
3
know?
times a day.
Since Yeah, so IVF is very, very stressful for women.
It's pretty stressful for guys too.
Yeah, for money-wise for Daniel.
Don't understate the stress and pressure on the guys as well.
Physically, like if women has more stress, but still we need to achieve together. So this is a couple of things to do, right?
Yeah, this is sort of the ultimate couples challenge.
Yeah.
Gambarimasu.
Gambarimasu.
Love you.
After many tests and a gradual process of elimination trying to find out the reason why we could not conceive, we took more checkups such as TH1, TH2, flora, error, window timing, hysteroscopy, and so on. Finally, we could find out that I had a flora problem, so I had to take an antibiotics and lactobacillus pills. We were so happy to find out the problem was something relatively simple that we could fix. But even after the minor victory and improving our success chances, we still did not seem any closer to a successful IVF implantation even after fixing our problems and using up our precious 5 eggs in October 2022 after a year of attending the IVF clinic in Kitasato.
It's very frustrating. Every time I need to go to clinic to find out I'm not pregnant. I feel like I'm stuck in the same place.
I tried to keep my composure no matter what the result was, but it was very painful to feel like something so many people take for granted could be kept out of our grasp. I was being confronted by the reality that I could not succeed no matter how many times we tried. Daniel was also disappointed that even though we had tried almost everything and spent a lot of money, we still were unable to start our family. As Daniel was 42 and I was 38 already, we knew there is not much time left. We decided to change to a new IVF clinic in Shinagawa. We went to clinic with a referral letter from former clinic. The Shinagawa clinic had an English-speaking doctor, which we thought would be helpful for us to be on the same page on this journey to pregnancy. We started the IVF process again from scratch with OPU, and luckily this time we could get more than 20 eggs and 11 of eggs were fertilized successfully. This time we decided to do a genetic DNA test called PGT-A to check or fertilize the egg. Because statistically at my age, half of my eggs have the risk of chromosomal abnormalities. This PGT-A testing was the most expensive test of all the IVF related costs, about 100,000 yen per egg. So we decided to only take the PGT-A test for 5 of the 11 fertilized eggs. First off, we tried our best embryo rated at 6AA for PGT-A, which was a great condition embryo with beautiful shape and uniformity.
I'm gonna go to the implantation on the cat day, February 22nd. So this is gonna be my 5th time of implantation experience. I have some emergency happen.
But sadly, on implantation day, there was a problem during the unfreezing of the egg, which the clinic had never experienced before, and this attempt was unsuccessful. Second attempt was 5AA fertilized egg. Waiting for result this month was so difficult because we had been so disappointed in losing our best quality egg and had even been having discussion with the doctor and each other about our timeline for giving up and what our other options were for a family, such as adoption, surrogacy, etc. Okay, today is BT9. We're gonna go back to clinic tomorrow, but before that, I wanna try this clear blue omron to check up I'm pregnant or not. いきます。Daniel.
What does that mean? Yes?
Yes.
本当？
はい。
本当？本当？本当？
Yeah.
本当に？
Yeah.
Hey, honey. Hey.
Yeah!
本当にびっくりした。
本当かよ。本当? I know. I can't still believe it.
Oh, no, I can't believe you did that. Because we've just been like trying and so many times and just so much disappointment and everything.
No.
And then it's just like, eh?
But it's quite a strong line, isn't it?
Oh, that was like very quick to change.
After 3 IUI attempts, 4 failed IVF attempts at the first IVF clinic, and 2 IVF attempts at the second clinic, we were so happy to finally be able to achieve our goal of starting a family. We were able to graduate from the IVF clinic and move on to the next step in our parenthood journey.
You might be wondering how much it cost us for our IVF journey in Japan, for 3 IUI attempts and 6 IVF attempts. We ended up spending approximately 3.7 million yen, including all of the additional tests and medicine costs. As we mentioned earlier, we were eligible for some fertility treatment grants from the Japanese government, and from April 2022, we were able to use the Japanese national health insurance. Unfortunately, because we decided to take the additional PGT-A genetic testing option on the eggs extracted at the second clinic, none of the costs at the second clinic were covered by national insurance due to government restrictions.
Hopefully, our IVF journey video may be helpful to you or someone you know who is considering. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!